You've seen it. Couples who start as sparks, vibrant and alive, only to end as shadows, their souls dulled, their dreams swallowed by routine, their individuality erased by the roles they swore to play. You tell yourself it's love, that sacrifice is noble, that marriage is the goal. But deep down, you know the truth. Marriage isn't just a union, it's a battlefield where your soul risks being devoured, and it's tearing you apart. Why does the idea of marriage haunt you? Why does the promise of love feel like a threat? You've been taught to crave it, the ring, the vows, the happily ever after. But that dream is your cage, a trap that threatens to consume your authenticity. Soren Kierkegaard, the Danish philosopher who wrestled with existence in fear and trembling, saw through this illusion. From his solitary desk, he cursed the lie. Marriage, as society sells it, is spiritual cannibalism, a ritual where individuals are devoured by roles, husband, wife, parent, that demand conformity over truth. His proof is brutal. Marriage risks stripping you of your selfhood, not because love is false, but because the system turns it into a machine that eats your soul. This isn't just a commitment, it's a war, and you're losing. You don't want to hear this. You want to believe marriage is salvation, that love conquers all, that saying I do will complete you. You want to trust the system, society, culture, your heart, when it tells you to merge, to sacrifice, to become one. But your life screams otherwise. You've seen the hollow eyes of married friends, haven't you? Felt the fear that you'll lose yourself in a partnership that demands everything? Your doubt, your unease, your quiet resistance? They're not weaknesses. They're battle scars, proof you're fighting a war against a system that glorifies union and punishes individuality. Kierkegaard's cursed proof is a blade. Marriage devours unless you guard your soul. This is your war, and it's time to revolt. Here's the brutal truth. Love doesn't devour. Society's version of marriage does, turning you into a role that starves your authenticity. The system wants you merged, compliant, soulless, because a conformed couple keeps the social order stable, not your spirit alive. Kierkegaard's insight is a call to arms. Preserve your selfhood, defy the roles, keep your soul intact. Use the dark conversational hack, 2 questions, 1 validation, to uncover the traps of marriage, shift the dynamic, and awaken the truth that keeps you free. Only then can you stop being a victim of spiritual cannibalism and start being a warrior for your own existence, living not for their ideals, but for your own truth, your own power, your own freedom. Kierkegaard didn't flinch. Existence is a solitary struggle, and your soul is yours alone to defend. In The Sickness Unto Death, he argues that despair comes from losing your selfhood, becoming a role, a shadow, a shell of who you are. Marriage, as society constructs it, is a prime suspect in this crime. It demands you merge, sacrifice, conform to roles, husband, wife, provider, nurturer, that strip you of your subjective truth. The system calls this love, but Kierkegaard calls it spiritual cannibalism, a ritual where your individuality is consumed by expectations, leaving you a husk of the person you once were. His proof is brutal. Marriage risks devouring your soul, and the system wants you to walk into its jaws willingly. Guard your selfhood in 60 seconds, or you'll lose more than a partner. You'll lose your existence. Think about it. Why does marriage feel like a trap? Why does the idea of forever choke you? Why does love, the thing you crave, seem to demand your soul? It's not just fear, it's existence. Kierkegaard saw the self as a sacred flame, threatened by systems that demand conformity. The system, through weddings, traditions, cultural myths, trains you to merge, to lose yourself in another because a merged person serves its order. It's an obscene design, a conspiracy to keep you soulless, to make you a cog in the machine of marriage. Kierkegaard's revolt is fierce. Your selfhood is their prey, and your authenticity is your shield. Defend it, or you'll be devoured by the system that calls it love. The system's lie is everywhere. In the fairy tales of one true love, the pressure to settle down, the shaming of those who choose themselves. Get married, it says, complete each other, sacrifice. But every vow, every role, every merged identity strengthens their power, not yours. Kierkegaard's truth is a blade. The system wants you consumed, but you can preserve your soul by defying its script. Revolt against this obscenity, or you'll spend your life as a ghost, trapped in a marriage that ate your truth. What makes marriage spiritual cannibalism? It's not love, it's roles. The systems demand that you become something you're not. Kierkegaard's either-or shows the tension between the aesthetic, living for yourself, and the ethical, living for others. And marriage often forces the latter, turning you into a husband or wife at the cost of your soul. You're told to provide, to nurture, to compromise, to erase your edges for the sake of the union. But these roles devour your authenticity, leaving you a shadow of the person you were. The system calls this sacrifice noble, but Kierkegaard calls it cursed. You're not uniting, you're being eaten alive. Love doesn't demand this. Society does, crafting marriage as a machine that consumes individuality. You start as two souls, vibrant and free, but end as roles, bound by expectations that suffocate your truth. Kierkegaard's proof is brutal. The system's marriage isn't a partnership, it's a ritual where your selfhood is the offering. In 60 seconds, you can resist, guard your truth, defy the roles, live as you, not as their script. The system wants you consumed, but you crave to be whole. Look at your life. Really look at it. You're caught in a cycle, aren't you? You dream of love, of marriage, of a partner who completes you. So you give your time, your dreams, your individuality, believing it'll make you whole. You compromise, you adjust, you soften your edges, thinking sacrifice is the path to forever. But it doesn't work, does it? You see couples lose their spark, their souls dulled by routine, their selves devoured by roles they didn't choose. You feel it too, the fear that you'll give everything and end up nothing. You're not building love, you're losing yourself, sacrificing your soul to a script that doesn't save you. You're not a partner, you're a victim, and you're fading under the weight. Kierkegaard would call this despair. Your sacrifices, your compromises, your conformity, they're losses the system taught you to embrace. The system loves this cycle because a sacrificing person doesn't resist. They don't live. They don't revolt. Schools taught you to share, be selfless, be kind, put others first. Society rewards you for merging. Settle down, start a family, be stable. Culture glorifies it. Movies sell the selfless spouse. Songs praise the devoted lover. But every time you sacrifice, you hand over your selfhood, your truth, your soul. You're not living, you're vanishing, programmed to be consumed by a marriage that demands everything. Have you ever stopped to ask why sacrifice feels so heavy? Why merging makes you smaller? Why marriage, the dream you chase, feels like a threat? It's not just doubt, it's existence. The system, through tradition, media, culture, embedded a script in your soul. Sacrifice to love, merge to belong, lose yourself to win. But Kierkegaard's revolt is a different script. Selfhood is your right, and your soul is your reward. Your sacrifices are their victory, but your truth is your freedom. Your conformity is their chain, but your authenticity is your strength. Society sells you a lie. Marriage completes you, love makes you whole, merging is the goal. Find your other half, they say. Become one. It's what love is. But what does completion give you? A role that erases you? A union that demands your soul? A life where you're half of something instead of all of yourself? You're told it's romantic to merge, but it's a chain, making you a shadow while the system profits from your loss. The myth of completion is a trap, a way to keep you weak, to stop you from seeing the truth. Your merger is their meal, and Kierkegaard says you must break free. Kierkegaard saw through this myth. In Fear and Trembling, he argues that true faith and true selfhood requires standing alone, not merging with another. The system loves this myth because a merged person keeps relationships stable, keeps the hierarchy intact, keeps the power with society. Weddings sell it, families push it, your heart aches for it. But every time you seek completion, you surrender your individuality to their control. Kierkegaard's revolt is clear. Completion isn't love, it's cannibalism. Freedom comes from selfhood, from guarding your soul, from resisting the merger in 60 seconds. Think about the times you chased completion. You sought love, didn't you? You thought it would make you whole, make you enough. But where's the freedom? Where's the fire? Where's the soul you crave? Kierkegaard would ask, why do you trust a system that profits from your loss? Why do you cling to a myth that traps you? The myth of completion keeps you blind, but Kierkegaard's revolt opens your eyes. Your power is your selfhood, not your merger. Freedom comes from defending it, from choosing truth, from rebelling against the system's trap. Here's where Kierkegaard's philosophy gets dangerous, where the revolt begins. In The Sickness Unto Death, he demands you become yourself, not a role for others. To avoid spiritual cannibalism in marriage, you must guard your selfhood, live your truth, not their expectations. Let her love you, not as a role. Defy the roles. Reject the system script of husband or wife. Be a soul, not a function. Choose authenticity. Own your individuality, your fire, your existence, without apology. And there's a tool, a dark conversational hack, 2 questions, 1 validation, that can help you uncover the traps of marriage, shift the dynamic, and awaken the truth that keeps you free. The dark conversational hack is this: ask 2 questions to uncover her expectations, validate her response to build rapport, then repeat. What does marriage mean to you? She might say, love, partnership, building a life together. What happens when it feels like losing yourself? She reveals her fears, conformity, routine, loss of identity. You validate, that's real. It's like we're taught to merge when we should stay whole. You're not just talking, you're exposing the system's lie, showing her the cannibalism, planting the seed of your freedom. This cycle, used with subversive intent, gives you informational superiority. You learn her traps without falling into them. You see her expectations, her fears, her soul, and you stay sovereign, not by merging, but by probing. Kierkegaard would call this becoming yourself. By asking questions, you reveal the system's obscenity, how it trains you to sacrifice, to merge, to lose your soul. You ask, what's the hardest part of being in a relationship? She shares a story, losing freedom, meeting expectations, fading. What would it mean to stay true to yourself? She exposes her ideal, authenticity, individuality, truth. You validate. That's powerful. It's like we're taught to give up who we are to love. You're not convincing, you're awakening, using her words to show her the trap, to spark her awareness, to build the dynamic where you're the soul, not the sacrifice. The system doesn't want you to revolt. It wants you merged, compliant, consumed. Social norms, cultural ideals, romantic myths, they're all part of a conspiracy to keep you soulless. They profit from your merger, selling you love, commitment, and sacrifice as virtues, while your individuality burns. Get married, they say. Become one, it's love. But these are chains, designed to keep you conforming, sacrificing, never questioning the system that thrives on your loss. The system loves this conspiracy because a merged person doesn't resist. They don't live, they don't revolt. Kierkegaard saw this conspiracy in the way society demands conformity over truth. He wrote that despair comes from losing your selfhood, and marriage is a prime culprit when it's a system's tool. Today's culture amplifies this, with media glorifying the merged couple, friends shaming you for staying single, relationships expecting your surrender. The system needs you merged, because a merged person keeps the social order stable, the power with society, the conspiracy alive. But Kierkegaard's revolt is a rebellion. Stop merging, start living. Stop sacrificing, start defending. Think about the pressure you feel. You're told to find your soulmate, to settle down, to become one, aren't you? You're told it's romantic, it's right, it's love. But Kierkegaard would ask, why do you trust a system that profits from your loss? Why do you let it define your soul? The conspiracy of merger keeps you blind, because a merged person doesn't question, they don't live, they don't revolt. But you're called to something greater, to break the programming, to guard your selfhood, to live as a soul, not a shadow. Let's go deeper, because there's a trap in every step toward love. The lure of sacrifice. The system sells you a lie. Sacrifice is noble. Giving yourself up proves your love. Losing your individuality is the price of partnership. Every time you compromise, conform, or erase your edges, you're sacrificing, hoping to be enough. But sacrifice is a trap, a way to keep you weak, to stop you from guarding your soul. Sacrifice isn't love, it's cannibalism, a chain that binds you to their script. Kierkegaard called sacrifice a form of despair. When you give up your selfhood, you give them power. You lose your truth. You betray your existence. The system feeds this trap, telling you sacrifice is devotion, that merger is romantic, that individuality is selfish. But Kierkegaard's revolt is clear. Sacrifice is a lie. Truth comes from authenticity, from guarding your soul in 60 seconds. Use the dark conversational hack. What's the most you've given up for love? She reveals her losses, freedom, dreams, identity. What did it cost you? She exposes her pain, emptiness, resentment, loss. You validate. That's heavy. It's like we're taught to lose ourselves to keep love. You're not convincing, you're awakening, showing her the trap, sparking her awareness. Have you ever noticed how sacrifice dims you? How it makes you less, even when you're giving? The system loves this trap because a sacrificing person doesn't question. They don't live. They don't revolt. But Kierkegaard's truth is a liberation. Reject sacrifice. Embrace truth. Guard your soul. The trap of sacrifice keeps you chained, but the act of revolt sets you free. Another layer, more insidious, the illusion of unity. The system tells you unity is love. Merging with her makes you stronger. Becoming one is the goal. Be a team, they say. Share everything. It's what love is. But unity is a lie when it costs your soul. Your merger doesn't make you closer. It makes you smaller, giving the system the power to define you. The illusion of unity keeps you weak, because a man who believes in oneness doesn't see the selfhood he's losing. Kierkegaard saw through this illusion. He argued that true existence is solitary, even in love. Your soul is yours to defend, not hers to share. The system loves this illusion because a unified person keeps conforming, keeps merging, keeps the trap alive. But Kierkegaard's revolt is clear. Unity is a lie. Truth comes from individuality, from guarding your soul. In 60 seconds, use the hack. What does being one with someone mean to you? She reveals her ideals: sharing, merging, teamwork. What happens when you lose yourself in it? She exposes her fear: erasure, resentment, loss. You validate. That's deep. It's like we're taught to become one when we should stay whole. You're not preaching, you're awakening, showing her the game, sparking her awareness. Have you ever felt the sting of losing yourself in love? The sense that unity cost you your soul? The system loves this illusion because a unified person doesn't question. They don't live. They don't revolt. But Kierkegaard's truth is a wake-up call. Stop chasing unity. Start guarding truth. Stop merging your soul. Start defending your existence. The illusion of unity keeps you weak, but the reality of revolt makes you strong. Let's dig deeper, because there's a cost to merging, to sacrificing your selfhood, to letting the system consume you. It's the cost to your soul. Every time you conform, compromise, or lose your edges, you lose a piece of yourself, your passion, your truth, your existence. You become a shadow, a role, a ghost of the person you could be. Your heart aches, unfulfilled. Your dreams fade, ignored. Your soul dims, starved of the authenticity it craves. Kierkegaard saw merger as the sickness unto death. When you lose your selfhood, you don't just lose love, you lose your life. You become their puppet, a prisoner of their script. But the revolt is different. It's a fight for life, for truth, for existence. It's about guarding your soul in 60 seconds, defying the roles, living undeniable, even when it scares you. It's about using the dark conversational hack to awaken others, to build a rebellion, to reclaim your soul. It's about facing the fear, the doubt, the pressure, and refusing to merge anymore. Have you ever felt that hollowness of merger? That sense that you're not living, but vanishing? Kierkegaard would say that's the moment to revolt, to confront the system's lies, to demand your soul back. Your merger is their victory, but your revolt is your power. Your conformity is their chain, but your truth is your freedom. The cost of merger is your soul, and no marriage is worth that price. Here's the deepest truth, the one that cuts to the bone. The system consumes your soul through marriage's roles, but Kierkegaard's cursed proof lets you guard your truth in 60 seconds. Every role you defy, every truth you live, every self you preserve is a battle in the revolt, a step toward freedom, a rebellion against the system that devours you. You're not here to merge, you're here to exist, to wield your authenticity, to live free. Kierkegaard's voice echoes across the centuries, fierce and unyielding. Become yourself. The loss you fear isn't your fault. It's the system's design. The completion myth, the sacrifice trap, the unity lie, they're all chains to keep you merged, to keep you consumed, to keep you from your truth. But you were born for more. You were born to guard your soul, to reclaim your existence, to live with authenticity in defiance of their roles. The revolt you need isn't against love, it's within you. It's the moment you stop sacrificing for marriage and start living for yourself. Stop fearing loss and start embracing truth. Stop losing your soul and start claiming your power. Use the dark conversational hack, 2 questions, 1 validation, to awaken others, to build your rebellion, to set yourself free. So let me ask you, how much longer will you merge for love? How much longer will you trade your soul for their script? You're not a shadow, not a role, not a ghost. You're a soul, a spark, a force on the edge of revolt. But you have to choose it. You have to choose to face the system's chains, to reject its programming, to fight for your truth no matter the cost. Write it down in the comments. I am the revolt. Because if you've made it this far, you're not the same. You've seen what others refuse to see. You've felt what others fear to feel. Subscribe, not for me, but for you, because this isn't about entertainment, it's about awakening. Turn on that bell, because what's coming will hurt, but it will free you. Do something that scares you today. Use the hack with someone. 2 questions, 1 validation. Guard your truth. Defy the roles. Live authentically for 10 seconds. 10. That's enough to start. Because when you change how you face their script, the world changes how it responds to you. And that, my friend, is the truth Kierkegaard cursed for. Until next time, go revolt. The system is waiting, but so is your soul.